What is up, everyone? Welcome to round 2 of the Portland Monthly Premodern Paper Magic Afternoons June 2025 tournament. We got 2 new decks to show you, so let's dive into those deck lists. First up is Caustic playing what is surprisingly looking like just plain regular mono red Sligh. Caustic's known for playing his brews and interesting format takes, so this is a bit of a change up, and I think maybe hoping to catch some people at our monthly by surprise. I will note that the 4 flame rifts are a bit of a surprise and a bit of a questionable include, although I do have to admit we do not see a lot of Sligh at our monthly. So maybe banking against not running up against any mirror matches, this is maybe a little bit of a better card. Anyways, besides that, it's pretty stock Sligh. You got your 4 Jackal Pups, 4 Mog Fanatics, 4 Grim Lovemancers, 4 Seal of Fires, 4 Lightning Bolts, 2 Curse Scrolls, 4 Incinerates, 4 Flame Rifts, 4 Ball Lightnings, 4 Fire Blasts, and 2 Sulfuric Vortex. Looking at the mana base, I just noticed he's not running any Bloodstained Mires, but he's also not running any Barbarian Rings, so maybe offsetting the Grim Lawmancer use. Either way, he's got 4 fetches in the 4 Wooded Foothills, and the rest just plain mountains. In the sideboard, he has a Tormod's Crypt, 2 Pyroblast, 2 Red Elemental Blast, 2 Overload, 2 Price of Progress, 2 Flaring Pain, 2 Crash, and 2 Anarchy. Sligh is the check that all decks have to bargain with. Can you beat a deck that can potentially burn you out on turn 4? And I think that's the gamble Caustic is making, so let's see who he's playing against. Next up is Richard S. with Bant Oath. Notably, this is not a Terravore Oath deck. Its main value creatures that it's looking to Oath out is actually a Triskelion, and this is probably pretty bad for the burn matchup, 2 Phantom Neshobas. He is running 4 Swords of Plowshares, 4 Counterspells, 4 Impulse, 1 Sylvan Library, 2 Mana Leaks, 2 Guy's Blessings. Again, not a Terravore deck, so he does want to be able to shuffle his cards the field off of Oath back into his deck. 2 Disenchants, 1 Prohibit, the 4 Oath of Druids, 4 Fact or Fiction, a single Wrath of God, 2 Decree of Justice for a little bit of late game action, and as mentioned, the 2 Phantom Neshobas and Triskelion. Also just cool to see a Triskelion outside of Old School. The mana base, as this is a 3-color deck, is a bit all over the place. We got 3 Yavimaya Coast, 2 Brushland, 3 Adarkar Waste, 3 Flooded Strand, 1 Windswept Heath, 5 Islands, 1 Plains, 1 Forest, 2 Reflecting Pools, 1 Treva's Rune, 1 Fairy Conclave, 1 Grand Colosseum, which I think that might be the first time we've ever seen that on the channel, 1 Coastal Tower, and 1 Treetop Village. In the side, he's running 2 Tormod's Crypts, the 3rd and 4th Disenchant, 4 Meddling Mages, 2 Mystic Enforcers, 1 Hibernation, the 2nd Wrath of God, the 3rd Decree of Justice, 1 Warmth, and 1 Chill. Really cool take on the Oath deck. It does play out more like a control deck with all of those counter spells and swords, but can still have explosive turns against creature-based decks with those Oaths. This should be an interesting matchup. As I mentioned, it's going to be a little bit of an uphill climb for Caustic. He's really going to have to make sure he has those 2 Sulfuric Vortex ready and raring to go. Game 1 might be a little bit tricky, but hopefully in games 2 and 3 he'll mulligan to those because Phantom Neshoba is a hell of a magic card. Anyways, enough talking about the decks. Let's get into the games. All right, here we go. Round 2 kicking off. Caustic is on the left. Richard is on the right. I did mention the deck tech that I think Richard has the advantage here, at least in game 1, being an Oath deck against what is a fairly creature-heavy burn deck. Although if Caustic keeps playing creatures like Mog Fanatic, Oath is going to have a problem triggering. Is a bit of an advantage for him. Now, Phantom Neshoba does not have actual lifelink. It has a triggered ability lifelink. But still, it gains life nonetheless. All right, there's a Seal of Fire. And Caustic off to the races here. Already 3 threats on board by turn 2. This is the ideal burn opening hand. Maybe only beat by turn 1 Jackal Pup. I also noted in Caustic's deck tech that he's not running the full 8 fetches that we usually see, opting for more stability in his mana base with mountains, not playing Barbarian Ring, but does still have the full 4 of Grim Lawmancers. Granted, he does have a lot of spells he is casting and putting in the graveyard, so Grim Lawmancer should have no lack of targets, but interesting. Okay. Richard opting for an island here. I don't know if he's got a mana leak in hand or what, but a very slow start for the Bant Oath deck. There's another Mog Fanatic. And just going to get in for 1. Pass to you. Oh, no, we're going to play another Seal of Fire. All right. Interesting that he did not swing in with the Lavamancer as well there then. We're just going to Impulse here. Going to put a Prohibit on top. Or sorry, into his hand. And draw for turn. There's an Oath. That's a pretty big draw. He does not have a green source, unfortunately, to play it out this turn, but next turn he can get into Shoba and start the beatdown plan. If he's alive to do so. He's at 17. Here's 2. There's functionally 6 more on the board. Caustic just gonna pass it back though. Does not have a land drop here. Alright, this is where Oath probably hits the board. He does have a Prohibit up as well. Okay, Oath coming into play. And pass. Now, Caustic could get tricky and kill his own Grim Lavamancer with a Mog Fanatic. That's not great value by any means. But it is something he could do. He's got a lot of mana up though right now. What is he going to do with it? I mean, he's got 2 mana, but in a burn deck, 2 mana is a lot of mana. So he still has functionally 8. There's 4. Go to 11. Take 2, go to 9. And untap. There's an Incinerate. Caustic does have 2 Ball Lightnings in hand, but no Mountain to play them. That is unfortunate for him. So let's see. He can swing in with the Mog Fanatics, deal 2, sack them, deal another 2, use Grim Lavamancer for another 2. Richard's at 9, so he's 1 short. If he's able to get a burn spell here through the Prohibit, assuming it's a 1 mana burn spell, that is game. But I am not sure that Richard will let that resolve. I think first step here is you just swing in with the Fanatics and see what happens. Burn gets a lot of flack for being the easy deck, but when you boil it down, there's a lot of critical decision points, especially in getting those last bits of damage, playing around what your opponent might have. Okay, we're going to combat. Swing for 2. And playing it safe, just passing. Alright, Oath of Druid's trigger here. If he hits a Triskelion, that is actually maybe... Oh yeah, okay, he does. That is maybe the best bet. Caustic's going to give this a bit of a read. Again, doesn't really see play outside of Old School. So I love to see it in this deck. So, Caustic needing to essentially respond to Richard's triggers. Richard will probably target the Grim Lavamancer first. So if you don't know what Triskelion does, aka Trike, comes into play with 3+1/+1 counters on it. You can remove a counter to have it deal 1 damage to target creature or player. So he's going to do that now. And yes, targeting the Grim Lavamancer. In response, ping you for 1, ping you for another 1, and then ping you for 2. It goes down to 3. And Caustic does have the Incinerate in hand, but also, how many counter spells does Richard have up? He also just has a Phantom Deshoba. He's not super far away from casting it. Alright, now this is the interesting part. Caustic can trigger the Oath, which he will do. There's a Ball Lightning. Unfortunately, Ball Lightning very susceptible to Triskelions, having only 1 toughness. And yeah, before that happens, it will get shot. And Richard is at 3. Do you just go for it? No, he is passing it back. At this point, I think the control deck fully in control. Swinging for 2. Ain't afraid of no trikes or any ball lightnings. Oh, he is actually going to shoot the Triskelion to prevent any Oath triggers. Daring move. And unfortunately, Caustic really just needing some cheap burn. Still opting to not fire off the Incinerate he has. Waiting for Richard to tap out. Richard is going to pass back as well. There's a Seal of Fire. Caustic really needing 2 burn spells here, needing another land pretty desperately. I do wonder what his total land count is. He didn't have a dice on it or anything. But, okay, we're going to try and play the Seal of Fire. That will get prohibited. And choosing to not play a creature out, which again is smart. Oath of Druids is a very good card. You only play it if you have lots of targets, or very good targets, I should say. Okay, there's 2. A Guy's Blessing. Gonna shuffle back in a few cards. 3 cards, and then you get to draw a card. So, Guy's Blessing also has another line of text where if it's ever milled from the graveyard, or from the library into the graveyard, you then shuffle your graveyard back into your deck. So, Oath decks that are not trying to fill up their graveyard like Terravor usually will play this as a way to prevent them from decking. Usually only plays 2. Because you can always shuffle the other one back in and trigger Oath. Even if you failed fine, you still get to shuffle your deck back in and get your Oath targets again. Unless they all got swordsed. Which can happen, for sure. Although maybe not against Sligh. Caustic just going to pass it back again, opting to not... That is an Incinerate in his hand, right? I'm not mistaking that. Okay, there's an island. Okay, there's a Ball Lightning. That will get counterspelled. And then there's a Factor Fiction. Oh, does he have... He has the Fire Blast, and then we are going to go to game number 2. I totally missed the Fire Blast in his hand. That totally makes sense then. He was just waiting to have 2 burn spells he could fire off, hoping that his opponent could not pay for 2 counter spells, or at the very least tapping out when he thought his opponent was all tapped out. Alright, there's a Flame Rift in Caustic's hand, as well as 3 Fire Blasts and 1 Mountain. He also has a Jackal Pup, which is not great against Oath. Very interesting to see that still in the main. I don't know exactly what he would take out, but any creatures that either sacrifice themselves, like Monk Fanatic or Ball Lightning, are probably the most valuable in Caustic's list right now. I do think that Jackal Pup's equity is kind of at an all-time low. It's just a worse Savannah Lions, and Savannah Lions doesn't even really see play. I mean, I get it, and Burn is a very good one-drop creature against opponents that aren't playing super creature heavy decks, but I don't know. I want to try and find a replacement for it. I've been pitching the idea of Earthquakes and Farchild's War Riders instead of Jackal Pups. I don't know if that's a good plan. I haven't played enough games to test it out. It's probably not, but it's funny. Alright, so Caustic looking to keep 6 here. Sorry we didn't do the cutaway we normally do, but we'll do it now. So he's going to 5, and we'll cut to when he has a keepable hand. Alright, Caustic looking for a good 5. The burn deck does mulligan pretty well. His cards either do one of two things. They're either creatures that burn ya or spells that burn ya. I think he still only has 1 mountain. I am very curious how many lands he actually is running. The list still needs to be pretty mana heavy because you are running a decent amount of 3-drops. You got your ball lightnings. You got your enchantments. Curse Scroll notably needs 3 mana to function. Oh no, he does have 2 mountains, I guess, and 1 ball lightning. I thought it was 2 ball lightnings and 1 mountain. So this is a keepable hand. I think he's just trying to decide what to put back. Keeping the ball lightning, that makes sense. Does not trigger Oath. Alright, Richard's turn is off. Just a island go. There's mountain number 3 there for Caustic. So ball lightning online in 2 more turns. Does not have a 1-drop here. Oof, and you hate to see it. There's a chill. Just felt a bit of a chill go through the air. Red spells cost 2 more to play, so it's a good thing that Caustic drew an island. Well, he can play a 3-mana Seal of Fire. That's definitely a thing that can happen. And that will happen. There's an Impulse, though. Notably, Richard not running anything like Dazed or Foil, so this Seal will resolve. There's a Brush Land and go. 4 mana up for Richard. Fetch land here for Caustic. Now has access to 2 mana red spells. Gonna fetch here. Does he have a 2 mana burn spell he wants to try and fire off? Richard definitely representing interaction. I'm trying to think what else he could have potentially brought in from his sideboard. He has the chill, the one of, which is just brutal to see, and a warmth. And maybe a Wrath of God? Maybe. Alright, there's a Flame Rift. Both players take 4. I believe there was a Spy Colony podcast not too long ago where they were debating the merits of Flame Rift. And in an open tournament with lots of burn and aggressive decks. Oof. Yeah, okay, there's Warmth. Warmth immediately going into 1 pile off of the Fact or Fiction. And Richard taking it. Doesn't need the rest. Just goes in the graveyard. But yeah, basically saying that Flame Rift is not a good card. And I agree, but as I mentioned in the deck tech, we don't have a lot of burn. We do have a decent amount of goblins. So maybe not the best. There's a Warmth. I'm not sure why it cost 3. Oh no, did he just play the Coastal Tower for a turn and I missed it? Either way. Yeah, I think Flame Rift in this meta is fine. We usually have maybe one burn player, 2 goblin players, maybe one like White Weenie or Sui Black. Right, Caustic just can pass it back. That Warmth is pretty rough. He does have Anarchies. Ooh, and there's a Price of Progress. That's a pretty good Price of Progress right now. Definitely makes that Warmth hurt a little less. Richard is at 15. Are we casting the Price of Progress now? Yeah, we're going to try and shoot it off, but there is a mana leak. Unfortunately, that will not get through. Don't forget, Richard does, get to gain 2 life. Caustic letting him know. Even though it got countered, he still gets to benefit from the enchantment. And I think Caustic just passing it back here. There's a Fact or Fiction. That is an interesting pile. I don't know exactly how I'd break this up. I would maybe put... Oh, interesting. Okay, Impulse in one, everything else in the other. And this time Richard's going for the value play. That is an interesting pile. I don't know if I would divide it up that way, but I think Caustic might be a little disheartened at the combo of Chill and Warmth on the battlefield at the same time. Okay, gonna play out the Oath of Druids, just in case you get a creature down. And Caustic just gonna pass it back. He did just draw the Lavamancer, which would have been good to have a few turns ago, but now with the Oath, it does not make much sense. Caustic just needs repeatable damage here, and I think really is just looking for a Curse Scroll, which even in this is not great. There's a hard cast Triskelion, which is rough. It is a 6 mana 4/4, but it can shoot down basically every creature in Caustic's deck, so... Oh, I see. Okay, dealing 2 to Caustic and 1 to itself, so Oath won't trigger. There's another Grim Lavamancer. Caustic just gonna pass. Not sure how he gets out of this, to be honest. The Chill and Warmth lock with the Oath of Druids is pretty nasty. There's a Phantom Nishoba. That might just be enough. Yep, Caustic gonna pack it up, and we're going to game number 3. Well, the Nishobas had to make an appearance at some point. Now Caustic knows exactly the uphill battle he has. Definitely had a good game 1, but he is back on the play. This looks like a very keepable 7. He also did mold a 5 in game 2, which was not ideal. Okay. Both players are good. We're gonna start with a Mountain and a Lavamancer and go. Island go from Richard. Alright, Caustic finding a few mountains here. I'll go ahead and play the Mog Fanatic. And probably just getting in for one with a Lavamancer. Yeah. Sometimes it's just a 1/1 beater. Sometimes that's good enough. Alright, there's a Plains and pass. Caustic notably not firing off the Lightning Bolt. Is finding a lot of lands, though. If Chill ever does hit, again, it will not be as much of a problem. Alright, gonna get in for 1 here. Interestingly, not attacking with the Grim Lavamancer. Say go. There's a Wrath of God. Still a turn away from playing that. Wrath of God in an Oath of Druids deck is an interesting include, I do have to say. I mean, I get it. Sometimes you just need to control the board. Alright, there's a fetch. Gonna get in for 1 here. Say go. Cost of getting close to actually just casting this Fire Blast straight up. I'm gonna fetch here. Get a mountain, and then I imagine Grim Lawmancer is gonna shoot for 2. Yep, looks like that's gonna be the case. 2, yeah. Richard down to 17. Gosh, is that another land? That is unfortunate. Mog Fanatic getting in for 1. I mean, do you just play the mountains? You can sack the mountains to activate Grim Lawmancer next turn. Alright, Richard gonna fetch here. Goes to 10. Cossack does have 7 damage on the board and in hand. So needing just like a lightning bolt. Really? Is Richard gonna try and Factor Fiction here? I think at this point you sack the mountains. You have so many in hand, you only really need 3. Richard probably not believing that Cossack just has lands and a Fire Blast. I mean, he probably knows he has a Fire Blast. The burn player always has a Fire Blast. Alright, but call. Oh, yeah, okay. There is a Factor Fiction, so I think there was a point where Richard was thinking of firing it off, but he is not going to do that here. Instead, nope, Cossack just going to untap. Alright, there's another Grim Lavamancer. Gonna get in for 1. I mean, do you just play the Lavamancer? Nope, that's a mountain. There we go, Lavamancer. This might be enough to draw out the Wrath of the God from Richard. Does he also have 2 swords, or is one of those the Wrath? It is white bordered along with the sword, so a little tough to tell. Alright, no, Richard just untapping here. Okay, it looks like just 1 swords. He does have Disenchant in his hand as well. He has not seen any Seal of... well, I guess he's seen Seal of Fire. He hasn't seen the Curse Scroll. Okay, there's a Impulse being discarded. Richard is saying, I have so many good things in hand. Alright, there's a Mog Fanatic. Is that going to be... Alright, we're gonna Swords the Lavamancer before the Mog Fanatic. Oh no, we are... Oh, sorry, I guess this is on the stack. Now, a Mog Fanatic can target the Lavamancer, but do you really want to do that? It does get 2 cards in your graveyard to then Lavamancer for 2. But you lose having creature out. I don't know. I don't think that's a good play. Okay, we're going to tap for 2 red, float them, sack them, 2 Fire Blast, which will get countered. Using the 2 red. Okay, I see. Yeah, he's going to activate the Grim Lawmancer now before it gets swords. This makes sense. Deal 2 to you. Down to 7. Ooh, big camera shake. Somebody bumping into the camera. We set up barricades, so it's pretty hard to be bumping that camera. Sometimes people still find a way to do it. All right, so the Lava Monster will get exiled. Caustic will gain a life. And what are we looking at here? Richard is at 7. One of the Mog Fanatics can swing in and then sack itself. That's 2. Lavamancer can deal another 2. Mog Fanatic can sack itself, deal 1. So that's 5 total. So if Caustic has another burn spell, which we know he doesn't because he just has a bunch of mountains. Alright, there is a Wrath of God there for Richard. He's at 6. He does have a Prohibit as well. Just gonna pass. Caustic more than happy to continue swinging in with these 2/2s. If he does that, he just wins, right? Swinging for 2. Oh, you can animate the Fairy Conclave. Yep. Instead, the Caustic will ping you for 1, take you to 5, take another 1, go to 4. And I don't think he has another burn spell in hand. Did he draw another mountain? Like yet another mountain? Yes, that Fairy Conclave is still on the battlefield currently. Yes, he just has all mountains in hand. As a burn player, this is your worst nightmare. You functionally need 3 lands to play the deck. Anything beyond that is just excess, and Caustic has drawn 8 mountains, 9 mountains, something like that. Too many mountains. Way more than any burn deck should. On the other side, Richard hasn't drawn much of anything in terms of threats. He's had lots of interaction. There's an Impulse. That was an interesting decision point. He could have hardcast the Trike and forced the Mach Fanatic and Lavamancer, but that would put him dead to any burn spell that Caustic has in hand, so understandable why he wouldn't do that. I think he still just has the Prohibit, and that's the only counter magic he has. Well, he does have a Swords here. Oh, and Richard just scooping it up, and Caustic taking it down in 3. If you guys have made it this far, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Those 2 things are the best way to support all the videos that I've been making. If you've been a long time watcher and want to help support the channel financially, Patreon is the best way to do that. You may notice all the wonderful names on screen right now. These are my current patrons. If you want to see your name up here, make sure to check out the link in the video description or the one that's displayed on screen. Money from the Patreon goes to travel expenses, gear upgrades, and helping me make more Premodern videos. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.